What's up guys, and welcome to this tutorial for our beautiful White Tiger free race board. In this tutorial I will explain you the different footstrap positions that you can use on this board. A lot of thinking went into this, and of course, since we co-developed all of this together with Futurefly, there are a few things to tell. So to get right to it, the footstraps are the connection obviously from your feet to the board, and it's super essential to have them in the right position, because if you put them too much to the front, it may stop your board from flying. If they're too far in the back and that doesn't fit your riding style, the whole thing might become a little bit too sporty. And of course, if you're just getting into free racing, you might not want to use the footstraps all the way on the outside. So I would say, let's start with getting specific about the footstraps. So the first thing that I want to show you real quick are the footstraps that we are using. These are really high quality, very comfortable footstraps from Futurefly, and we are using them with double plugs, meaning we have a little metal plate in here together with two screws. Of course, that goes for all of the footstraps. It's when you're putting the footstraps on for the first time a little bit annoying because you have to do more screwing, but later on this does not only pay off, it's actually amazing and a huge benefit to your riding experience, because the double plugs, they make your connection of your foot with the board more direct, because the footstrap is moving less, because it's fixated on 2 points. And whether it's pulling up with your front foot to lift the board a little bit more, or have your back foot really stuck in here, everything really becomes more direct and better, and it's a real difference in feeling. And also, and this of course is a huge thing, the footstraps don't twist. There is zero twisting with these footstraps. Of course, this goes for all of the Futurefly boards, but it's an important feature to mention, because if you have a board where you use the footstrap with just one screw, it's gonna turn. I mean, there are tools to fix that, but I guess most of you out there know that, and that's not really nice, just like when you don't have the right grip and the board is slippery. So we will now start with the front footstrap positioning. Of course, what I'm telling you right now, it kind of applies to all of the 3 different sizes. We have right here the 125 liter version of the White Tiger. Let me now explain you what options do you have. So if you're using the double plug option, you effectively have 2 variants. Basically, like on a slalom board, it's the forward position and it's the backward position. Why did we choose to have 2 different variants for the double plug option? Because we did a lot of testing and a lot of thoughts went into this, and we decided we want a pure free race board. So we don't want a lot of plugs that you have right here, because every single plug adds weight, and in the end, if you want to free race, you will only use these 2 options anyway. So we tested a lot and we figured that these options are the best ones. These are the ones that in testing for us brought the most performance and the best comfort in riding. So if you put the front footstrap with the double plug to the front, this is gonna give you a little bit more control and a little wider stance. Of course, these 2 things are connected to each other. In this wider stance, it balances your board a little bit more, and you just have more control over how the board is moving. But since the board is 2.38 meters long, you don't have much of this moving anyway. It's a very smooth ride. So what we found in testing is that in most cases, if you want to go for the raw free race experience, for that nice railing over the water, the back position is the one that you want to go to. Of course, as I said, if you want to use the front one for a bit of control and maybe also to get into the free race thing, that's perfectly fine. But the back position on the front footstrap, that's the position that's going to get you flying the most. Your feet will be a little bit closer together, of course, depending also on the back foot position that you're choosing, but this really enables you to go back, hang into the harness and fly over that water. And then now comes something really cool, because if you're saying, wow, okay, this is the free race position, okay, I understand this is the position that you should be riding this board, but what if I want to have my footstrap just for the first 2 sessions, maybe further to the inside? Then which is of course very nice, you can use the third hole that we have in these foot straps and also in the metal plate, and you can in fact use the foot straps with a single screw, and like that bring your foot strap more to the center of the board. It's around 1, maybe 1.5 centimeters that you can bring the foot straps to the middle of the board like that. So this is the position that you can use if you want to, adjust and take it step by step, but you really don't need to be afraid. These boards, they ride easy, they do what you want, they let you rail the board, but they also allow for an easy ride. And now regarding easy ride, we come to the back foot strap, and here we have a really, really cool feature. And this feature was actually very important to me personally. A lot of free race boards out there, they have so many foot strap plugs, and in the end, if you're free racing, you're just gonna use 1, 2, or maybe 3 different positions. But there is also, of course, a reason for all these different positions, and that is simply that, if you're getting into that free race stance, it's sometimes not that easy if you're just getting started with it and if you're not used to it. And so especially in the back of the boards, it is cool to have one option further inside that really allows you to get used to it, and then from there take it to the outside. So what we have right here are, again, of course, double plugs, very important, but then we also have a chicken strap. And this chicken strap we also have with a double plug option. This means you can take this back foot strap and you can place it further to the middle and a little bit to the front. And what this does, it first of all allows you to get easily into the back foot strap, and then it also tames the board a little bit. So if you take the back foot strap and also if you put it to the outer front position, this will tame the board. It will make the board fly less. More area of the back of the board will be in the water, and it will be a little bit harder to push it on the rail. Important to note, you can of course also use with the single screw. So you can take that foot strap even further to the inside than with this double screw. And of course, this reduces again the weight of the board. We only have 4 extra plugs, so if you're a full-on free racer, you don't have to carry any extra weight around with you. And if you're just getting into it, you know that there is this easy option. And now, if you're already a free racer, if you already are familiar with foot strap positions a little bit further to the outside, then of course we're not talking about the chicken strap. And now with the outside foot strap, you can already see on this board, it's exactly how I used it here the past days in Tarifa. In testing both the prototypes and the final board, we figured that having the foot strap all the way to the back, it really gives you this free race feeling, this flying over the water. And of course, the further you have that foot strap to the back, the better you can push that board on the rail, the closer you are to the fin. And this really gives you this amazing railing feeling of just flying over the water. And having that back foot strap further to the front, it again tames the board a little bit, it a little bit more relaxed. So yeah, these are basically the options. Of course, again, you can use everything also with the single screw, but my personal recommendation is, if you want to go straight away for the full performance package, to call it so, put it all the way to the back to get the board maximum flying. If you're super tall and you want control, put this foot strap to the front. What is also important to mention is how wide you want your foot straps to be. And in free riding, well, you just choose the most comfortable position. But for free racing, there are actually 1 or 2 important things that I can tell you. So the back foot strap, you want relatively tight. What you want to achieve is that the foot strap is wide enough that you get in and out easily when you're jibing, and that with your heel and your foot you can nicely push the board onto the rail. But in other words, you don't want that foot strap to be super wide, because your back foot, this is where you get the security from when you're racing in a straight line. So don't make this one too large, just make it large enough so your foot, depending on your foot size, is in a nice and comfortable position on the rail. And now the front foot strap, here it is a little bit different. A lot of people put their front foot strap too tight. And in free racing, this of course comes from the slalom racing, you can put this front foot strap a little bit wider. So you do the following thing. When you put in your front foot, you can actually use it a little bit like a hook. This is part of the railing technique that most slalom riders are using, and that of course you can also pretty easily learn with this board. And like that you can lift the rail and just have your foot in here, like a hook, leading the way for your board. And what you don't want, at least not when you're full power railing and blasting around, is to have your foot in here flat. This is more the free ride style. Of course, you can also do that with this board, but when you're going full power, you want that security and you want that hook. And ironically, you get that security by making the foot strap a little bit wider so you can hook your foot. And if you've never done that, I really would recommend you to try that. And of course, this comes again into play when you're doing this little bit railing, leaning back technique, where you extend your front leg and where your foot maybe sometimes gets a bit loose. And this is one way to easily fix that. But yeah, your stance is going to be amazing anyway on that board. So, and in the end, I just want to mention again, it is really our and my personal mission to make this amazing feeling of free racing, and we did our best to make that possible, of course, with the right foot strap positions. So I hope you took something away, and now when you're for the first time putting the foot straps on your White Tiger, you know more or less where you personally are and where you want to put them. And of course, I also need to say this: if you don't find the right position right away, don't be frustrated. Now you know what each position does, so you can play around a little bit with it, tune your board and get the most out of your next sessions. And if ultimately any questions remained unanswered in this video, feel free to reach out to us. Again, I know I'm repeating this very often, but I really want to have you guys the best experience possible with these boards. And we love to help you with the tuning and the trimming. It's part of the service. And see you the next time. Bye-bye.